receive people for who they are and not who you want them to be. Okay, take people for who they are. Stop switching up their personalities. Stop switching up their traits to fit in your life. You are going to hurt yourself. Okay, hear me. You will hurt yourself trying to get people to come into your life and be an implement of what you want them to be. Okay, let's take a walk. Okay, so let me give you a little example, background story. I have the tendency where I will romanticize or I will idealize somebody who will come into my life, and I will literally make them be out to be this greater person than what they are. Okay, so I will literally look past all the flaws, look past all the wrongdoings, and see them as this great person because that's who I am. And I pretty much mirror myself onto that person. Like, well, they should think just like me, or they should act just like me. Why not? Why would they not act like me? Why would they not think like me? And I have the tendencies to do that. Oh, why are you doing all that, man? I'm about to sit down on this bench. Okay. So what I was saying is basically, you cannot perceive people in the way that you want to perceive them. Take them for face value. Take them for who they're showing you who they are. Take them for who they are, genuinely. Okay, because when you don't accept people for who they are and who they showing you are, that creates expectations. Okay, and when you create expectations, oh my god, he would feed them right here. Oh my god, they be getting fed. That's why they so big. They be getting fed, honey. Okay, so when you start putting certain expectations on people, that is where it becomes disappointment. And then now your feelings hurt. Now you're upset because you painted a picture in your head of what this person should be like. You painted this picture in your head of what this person should act like because you wanted to receive them the way that you perceive them and not for who they are. Okay? They've been showing you exactly who they are. You refuse to see who they are because you want them to be somebody else that they're absolutely not. You want them to be somebody that you believe they should be. You want them to be somebody that you created in your mind that they should be. Okay, I can give you guys an example. I was talking to a guy. He was cool. He wasn't exactly the person that I would go for or even look for, and I wanted him to be somebody else, you know what I mean? Like, but he was constantly showing me like, this is who I am and this is what I'm going to be. I'm not going to change. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, okay, this is how I'm like literally idealizing him. I'm literally putting him on a pedestal. I'm literally making him feel good about himself. I'm literally uplifting him and doing all these things. And I'm putting my perception on him when he's been actively telling me, no, this is what I want, and no, I can't, and no, like just characteristics and traits that I was putting onto him that, you know, most women do. Like, oh, he's dreamy, he's handsome, he's a gentleman, he's kind, he's respectful, he's pure-hearted, and all these things like that. In all actuality, no, because in that, when that mask slip, or when they can no longer pretend anymore, their true essence starts to show. And then you're disappointed that all along there was a mask, never really them. It's like a projector. For example, like if I'm projecting love, guess what? There's a high possibility that that's going to reflect the love that I'm projecting. Or there's a high possibility if I'm projecting hate, that's going to project back onto me. It's like a mirror. So if I'm showing somebody love, or I'm showing somebody grace, or if I'm showing somebody kindness, they're going to give me that. They're going to reciprocate just for a period of time until they no longer can do it. So if I take my love back, or if I decided to be like, okay, I'm not doing that, or I'm not giving you grace, or I'm not showing you kindness, guess what? The mask is going to slip. The mask is going to slip because they can no longer hold up the projection because you've been holding it the whole entire time. And then a really good thing is like when you're in the process of receiving people as they are, receiving people for who they are, You have to learn to observe their character, observe the way they move, observe the way they walk, observe literally, like, I know this might even sound minute. I have a thing where I like to study people. I like to study people on basis on their emotions, based on their response, based on their actions, based on how they move. I'm all about action. So the way you move, I'm going to take more of that than over your words. So you have to be observant in this world. You got to watch what people do opposed to what they say, because people will say anything to you however they want to you, and their actions be totally different. You guys can even take me for example. I can tell you guys all these words, but my actions be different. That's why it's important that you practice too what you preach. Okay, why y'all are coming towards me? I don't got no food. I do not have food. Y'all are big. Okay, so be observant. Watch everything. Damn near be like the damn animals. Animals are very observant. Okay, creatures are very observant. They're constantly observing before they act. Okay, so you got to observe people and their personality, because guess what always slips is two things. When you pay attention to people, they always slip. They always end up telling on themselves, number one. And also, you have to be observant in their character and their actions. They'll tell you one thing, but then they'll slip up with their actions. Okay, and that goes back to perceiving. Okay, that goes back to perception. Okay, just be observant. You can be quiet about however you feel. You can be silent about however you feel until anything starts to develop. Be quiet, observe, keep your mouth shut. You know, even with friendships, you have to be mindful of your friendships. Again, you want your friendships to be the best friend. Y'all want to be best friends. Y'all want to talk every day. You want to be cool with her. You want to be able to tell her everything, whatever the case may be. You have to be mindful with that. You have to be careful. A lot of things when it comes to receiving people for who they are and not who we want them to be, we have the tendencies to want to control people. Okay, most people want control over people opposed to seeing them for who they are and allowing them to be free. We want control over people, the way they think, the time, their energy, how much of energy they should give, how much time they should give. We all have that tendency. Okay, even if it's in the small increments, or even if it's something on the bigger scale. But in relationships, in dynamics, in friendships, you have to learn to let people be free. Okay, because one, that freedom and allowing people to be free will always give you a very telling about where they want to be at in their freedom. If they're choosing their freedom to stay away from you and choosing their freedom to do whatever they want and not really spend time with you without you having to ask, without you having to hit them up and be like, hey, are we going to spend time with each other? Oh, hey, I see that you didn't call me. What's going on? Let people be free, because that's going to give you exactly the answer that you need. With them not responding, with them not saying anything to you, with them not communicating with you, that should tell you everything you need to know. Why? Because you're not trying to control. Controlling would be like, hey, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you text me? What's going on? Why you didn't pick up your phone? That's automatically going to have them be receptive and reciprocating with your needs in that moment. But when that all fades, right, and you stop being like on their head about it, you stop calling them, you stop texting them, you stop being like, why aren't you being active? Why aren't you calling me? Why aren't you talking to me? When you stop doing all those things and you allow people to be free, that's when their true colors show. They're not going to call you. They're not going to text you. They're not going to be receptive. They're not going to communicate. Why? Because you're no longer projecting the version of what you want onto them. Learn to accept people for who they are and who they show up as. Okay? People are going to show up as who they are, and that way you can determine if you want to stick around for that. You can determine if you like the version of that. Hey, what's over there? Let me go over there. You can determine of which you want to accept. Okay? Let people be who they are. Okay, you accept who they are. Stop trying to control people. Stop telling people what they should or should not do and when they should do it and how they should respond to you or how they should talk to you all the time. Let them show you who they are, so you could either learn to stay there and rock with it or dip. Okay, accept people for who they are, because guess what, look at the babies. Look at the babies. Little babies. So accept people for who they are. Stop trying to change them. Stop trying to tell them what to do. Stop projecting onto people who you want them to be, because you're just going to hurt yourself. Okay? stop it. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. Allow people to show up for who they are. Allow people to show their true colors. Allow people to show their true intentions by watching and observing. So if this video was helpful and you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I will continue to keep posting more videos. And thank you guys who've been showing me so much love.